And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in FreeCol in version 1.2 as the French. Most of my experience in this game is actually in an earlier version, so I'm kind of relearning some of the new icons here as we're getting into playing the game. So let's go ahead and actually get some time moving. Production of lumber will be reduced because of a shortage. Okay, so that means we need to get the lumberjack back in the field making more lumber. We're producing quite a bit of lumber here. We can make 20 lumber a turn. We only use 12, so we got surplus lumber, which is good to see, because we may actually want to ship some lumber over to the silver mine at some point. And then one of the mechanics here that we have is, from Liberty Bills in particular, we have a sort of a good governance modifier, which is based on the number of rebels and loyalists in the colony. So in this case, we got 3% rebel fervor versus like 97% loyalist. As the game goes on, that's something why the tool isn't staying up. As the game goes on, you want to keep the number of royalists below 6. And then if at any point you have more than 50% is rebels, you get a +1 bonus to everything. If you get 100% of them being rebels, you get a +2 bonus. I believe if you go over 6, you get a mouse of 1 to everything. Some new natives. They got 3 cities somewhere. We don't know where those cities are. We'd like to find out. Waiting for you to get back to the colony. So there's, in fact, a new native. They've only got 1. We found the Apache settlement. Okay. Go ahead and say hi to the chief. And he's told us of the local area. I wonder if this is a lake here, or if that's just a big bay. May try to find that out soon. Okay, our warehouse is done in Charlesburg Royal. We've got a wagon train queued up behind it, which we want. I think this is a city we are going to keep, so I'm definitely going to build up the city quite a bit. Plus, we've got an expert lumberjack and such, so it's pretty easy to be building here for the moment. Let's go church into stockade. At some point, we'll have to import some tools, or make some tools, one of the two. So I want to unload. Oh, that's trackable. Wasn't expecting that. Unload the ship onto our cargo wagon. We are going to want to load the trade goods, and then activate you because we're going to want to send you to go sell those. And then our caravel itself, we're going to load up with cotton and. We want to sell the cigars to the natives, or we want to bring it back to Europe. Probably because we don't have a tax rate yet. That the government hasn't, or the crown hasn't put a tax on it yet. We probably want to sell it to Europe. Oops, that's the wrong. That's the wagon. I want to put it on the ship. let's put you back to making tobacco, yeah. We get the wagon off. Sell the trade goods. So we bought them... We bought them in Europe for 300. That's the price we'd sell it in Europe, as 100 is what it's showing there. That's, I think, more useful for the other goods that we could sell with the natives. This one is the thing we basically buy in Europe and sell in the new one. So we paid 300 in Europe for it. They're willing to buy it from us from 1,064, so we'll go ahead and accept. And then we do want to buy stuff from them. They're offering furs, tobacco, and food. I'm going to go ahead and buy the furs. So they're selling us 90 furs for 81 gold. If I were to buy this in Europe, we'd be paying 364. So it is a decent deal. We're getting it basically 25, or getting it for 25% of the cost. So we'll accept. And then we want the ship here, the ship to start heading back to the old world. We get food-wise off the planes. We get 5 food. Okay. So in Charles Royal, we'd be taking a penalty if we put another person in the city. So for the moment, this Master Distiller I don't want to put into the city. I may send him over to Charles Ford where I'll have him make food. Obviously, as a distiller, his main purpose, his main specialty is converting sugar to rum, but we don't have any sugar for the moment, so we're not going to have him be doing that anytime soon. Okay, so that's looking more and more like that's a lake instead of a bay. Very deep bay. In a new village. You're gonna go say hi to that chief. Who actually gave us some more gold, that's nice. And these guys don't like the English, which is fair, we're the French, we don't like them either, but they train us an expert farmer, so there's another place we can get expert farmers from. Rum, tools, cigars are what they're interested in trading for the moment. So yeah, this is in fact a lake, not a bay. So if I want any boats on that lake, and I may want boats on that lake at some point, you would have to build them on the lake, which has its pros and cons. There's some decent fish on the lake. It wouldn't be that bad for moving around the furs we could get from the game. We're maybe not in a rush to do that anytime soon. And you're on your way back to Europe. Okay. And Twitch chat saying that kind of sucks. I assume they're talking about this being a lake instead of a bay. In the original one, there were lakes like this, but there was a single tower that blocked it to the ocean. You could see there, and you can get an ocean access. Yes, I believe that sort of canal thing does exist in this game as well. But yeah, this doesn't appear to be a lake with that close of an access to the surrounding terrain. I think closest we can get is 2. I'm not 100% sure. I might technically be able to do a canal city with 2 cities. You might be able to put them next to each other. Might technically be able to put one here and then one there and get a connection across. And that, in theory, that wouldn't actually be that hard to test. Though I would need a second free colonist to test that. Which unit immigrate? I'll take the specialist remote, take the blacksmith. So we're gonna sell the cigars off. A nice chunk of change from that, and the cotton. Take the blacksmith guy, and we are gonna take another load of trade goods. And then back to the colony with you. Oh, and Twitch saying is right, because you can, since you can abandon cities, which is another nice colonization feature. Yeah, and colonization, because the people who live in your cities are also units, you can just pick up all the units and sort of leave the city behind. So it's very easy to say, try to settle 2 cities, and if you don't like your cities, unsettle them, right? That's pretty easy to do in this game. We obviously need another colonist to do that, but we could probably be doing that pretty easy. So I might test setting up a canal just to see if we can do it. Do a 2-long canal. Okay, so we're gonna have you get off the boat. Oops, didn't want to drag the menu. I wanted to just move the trade goods. And before I forget, we do want to have the ability to pick up silver here for transport, so we can ship it to Europe. I might move the ore. We'll leave the ore here for the moment. We might actually have the blacksmith come over here and start processing that ore into tools, because that's what the blacksmith specializes in. Ship's full. Time to send back to Europe. Well, I say full. We could fit a little bit more, because you can fit up to 100 per stack. But... And then we want to sell the trade goods here. And again, they're willing to pay much more than we paid for it. We paid 300 for it. They're willing to pay 1,573, so we'll accept their deal. We do want to buy it from them. They're selling cotton, furs, and food. We'll buy the furs from them again. And then when you sell them a thing, that thing will drop off of their list of things they're interested in trading. So, for example, over here, we did trade them trade goods, so the trade goods have dropped off. Same over here. So we'll have to go a little bit farther afield if we want to be selling trade goods. Again. In fact, right now I'm not seeing any easy source of trade goods. People interested. Yeah, that would work. That'd be a bit far away. Okay, I want you to be making tools, which will slowly consume the ore here, but that's fine. And back to the old world. Oh wait, Charles Ford. It's currently got the warehouse set up here as the thing it's going to prioritize. I'm going to actually swap it to doing the printing press first. So the printing press is the upgrade to the town hall building, which by default gives you one Liberty Belt. I think it's plus 50%, then plus 100% yield for the two upgrades for Liberty Balls, so it's quite valuable to get if you're trying to generate Liberty Balls. Which again, generating the Liberty Balls to make rebels is how you sort of grow the city without getting hit with a bunch of penalties. Let's go ahead and I'm going to buy a double load before we leave. I'll pick up some cotton. Waiting for that to Europe. I've actually got enough money. I can go ahead and purchase one of the larger transport ships. We're going to pick up a galleon. So a galleon, unlike our little caravel that only holds 2 things, holds 6 things. And we're going to go immediately send to the colony, so we don't have to have the ship constantly going back and forth as we're starting to get better and better at moving and stuff. Okay, I don't think that. I think that's what the error was. I think this wasn't supposed to be coming to Europe or coming to the New World quite so fast, but it did. It did. It done did. I'm getting some free colonist. A good choice between free colonist, free colonist, or free colonist. We'll obviously take a free colonist. Okay, so the galleon has arrived. It stores up to 6 things. We're going to immediately just go and start loading the stuff we're sending back to Europe, which is the silver, is the tobacco, the wagon train arrives, is the stuff the wagon train's carrying. One more turn of tools, and then we might actually swap them over from doing tools to hammers just to get the printing press done. Quickly offload everything, and then load it onto that one. Built the stockade in Charlesbourg Royal. So, Chars will roil for the moment. We got a couple things to pick up. Basically, we're building things that can only build with hammers because I've not got the tools. Which, at this point, is telling us, hey, we probably are really interested in getting some tools shipped to the city. And we're starting to make some tools. So we're being presented with our first tax event from the Crown, a message of the Crown. The various acts of defiance perpetrated by the illoyal colony of France leaves with no choice but to impose a new wool act, raising your tax by 3%. If you do not accept, we will please to boycott your tobacco. So if I don't accept this, so don't accept the 3% tax rate, I believe it'll throw all the wool we have in the harbor, and we'll have a boycott. Or actually, no, we'll throw all our tobacco in the harbor, and we'll have a boycott on tobacco. For the moment, we really don't have the industry to turn that tobacco into cigars, so that would be annoying. It's also only a 3% tax. And I believe this is bringing us up to the tax rate that the difficulty is thinking that we should have at this point in the game. So, accepting the boycott at this point would only just delay the inevitable. It's still eventually going to take the tax rate up to 3%. So we're just going to accept the 3% tax rate. I think you're seeing a pop-up window we're not seeing when we just see the turn report. I think you just saw that. It's fine, this is a minor compared to the flashing, yeah. Hopefully we don't have... the first time we tried to stream this, we were having a bunch of problems with the flashing. So that was the tax event. Surprised that didn't show up. I don't have a way to bring it back up again, of course, to see if it was just something I could see. Oh, you can't see that pop-up. Why can't you see that pop-up? Huh. So the this right now I've got popped up the trading with the natives window. I don't know if that's a bug with the streaming, or the bug with, or a bug in OBS capturing it, or a bug with the game. Yeah, so right now I brought up the thing for buying goods from the natives. I've got a list of 3 different goods here, which is tobacco, cotton, and food. I'm going to go and buy the tobacco. So Twitch chat's telling me that some of the windows haven't been properly popping up. That I didn't realize that what they're talking about earlier. Can I fix that properly? Possibly. Okay, I'll probably try fixing that during the part break. So yeah, some of the things weren't showing up. So in about 10 minutes when we finish this part, I'll see if I can try to fix that between parts. Because there's some important information popping up on those event pop-ups that would probably be useful for the stream to actually see. And, well, if you're watching the YouTube video, probably useful for you in the YouTube video. Like, for example, I'm going to go ahead and trade with the natives here. And that's not showing up for whatever reason. So we're going to be buying some more stuff from the natives. Getting an option of cotton and furs. I'm going to take the cotton. And again, it's a decent price for the cotton. Relative to what I'm going to sell it in Europe for. There we go. Nice full ship here for going back to Europe. Which is just doesn't quite move enough to get back, start the process of heading back to Europe in one turn. Oh, so for example, here's another one of the pop-ups that isn't showing up for whatever reason. Well, obviously, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, it's not showing up. So this is the pop-up telling me how long it will take for the ship to get back to Europe. And if I want to have them remain here or send them back to Europe, it's telling me it'll take about 3 turns. And I'm going to press yes, steady as they go, so they go back to Europe. Okay. Oh, and I've been ignoring the fact I've got ship at Europe. Oops, let's fix that. Load you onto the ship. Quickly pick another one up. Yeah, let's pick another colonist up, and we'll do some experimentation. That one shows up. Okay. I'm half surprised what shows and what doesn't show up in some cases. So. So we got 60 tools there, yeah. So let's go ahead and swap you over to making hammers. You won't be as efficient making hammers as you are tools, but then we can try to get the printing press done there. Our ship has arrived in Europe. So you can see silver, quite valuable, worth 16. And you can also see why you don't want to make your entire economy based off of silver, which is I've sold 90 silver, and the price of silver has immediately dropped. So silver tends to be a bit volatile in price. There's a lot of the base resources, while not very valuable, although we did just have a price decrease there, do tend to be fairly stable in price. They tend not to go down very much. Go ahead and pick up a Elder Statesman. And I think a load of trade goods. And a load of tools. Yeah. And send you back to the colony. Okay, so let's see if we can get that sort of canal city style thing up. So to do that, we need to set up 2 cities that would have to be immediately adjacent to each other. So we can set the first one up. I can show off a little bit what I'm talking about. So yeah, we're gonna... Part of your new colony land is already owned by the Europeans. Interesting. Part of our colony's land is already claimed by the natives. Okay. I think this will still be fine. We'll lay the foundations here. We're just testing. Right, so with a single city down, we can go ahead and move the boat into the city, for example. Move them here. We'll put the city there next turn. There we go. So the two cities, we were able to settle cities next to each other. And what we would like to see if we can make a canal here. So because this is a coastal city, we can move a unit into it, or move a boat into it. And because in theory the other one's a coastal one, we can probably move the boat through. Yeah, so now we sort of made a canal there. Where because the two cities are connected, we can move boats onto that interior lake. Which is actually quite snazzy. It's not a bad thing. Okay, now that we've got some tools here, I'm going to go ahead and grab fully upgraded straight to the newspaper here. So we can go... Collipedia show up? That's actually a good question. It does show up, okay. A little bit worried now. I know that some things aren't showing up. The things that I was talking about earlier weren't... Well, things that I assume should show up weren't showing up for whatever reason. The blink stuff. There we go. So, Town Hall is where you normally by default make your Liberty Bells, normally 3 each. Elder Statesman is a 2x multiplier on that. And this does have upgrades, which is the printing press, which is plus 50%, and where is the other one? The other one's the newspaper. I'm not seeing the list there. I think the newspaper just is 100%. Why it's not showing up? 100% sure. Should be there. Oh, because it's I'm not able to see the indicator saying there's a plus next to the printing. Sorry, yeah. So printing press goes into the newspaper, which are 50%, 100%. So that's one way to get a lot more Liberty Bells. We're going to get this one to bring the silver down to the port. Obviously, we're going to leave the big ship here at harbor for a little while. There's a new city we should explore. Say hi to. So yeah, we now have access to this interior link because we set up that sort of canal city set. Okay, silver has arrived. Go get that loaded on the transport ship. And I'm going to go and load wood up on our wagon train here to ship inland. I am going to go ahead and move one of these two cities. I'm going to move this city. well, I'd say move the city. We're gonna abandon the city and put it someplace else. We're gonna waste a little bit of food. Actually, it's gonna waste a little bit of furs, but that'll be fine. This is one of the pop-ups again that isn't showing for you on the stream / YouTube. Because I've moved the guy out of the city, when I hit close here, it's asking me, should I really abandon the colony? Because there would be no one in the colony at this point, so the colony would disappear. I am planning on abandoning it, because I'm planning on moving it, so I'm going to basically abandon it. I'm going to have him set up, instead of where he is, I'm going to move him over... Probably just over one. I'm probably just going to move him over to the conifer forest. That way we can make use of the tile he was on. Because the two here, and here, are already claimed by the other European. And in Twitch chat saying, nice to see that trick worked. And yeah, the trick did appear to work. I'm just going to go move where one of our canal cities are. Got some more gold. Usually we got fish deep in the lake and not on the coastline. You can only use the ones that are on the coastline, of course. Okay, and we'll get you to set that colony up. Yeah, lay the foundations. So now he's got a little less... Well, there's a little bit more usable tiles there, for this will be a little bit more usable of a city. Although these two cities are probably going to mostly work on processing and just handling shipping in and out of the lake. If I do keep them. I think this is a good place to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow. Hopefully by then I'll get the problem solved with the certain pop-ups not showing. I think what I'll have to swap from is a window capture to a monitor capture is probably what I'll swap to. If you're watching on Twitch, we are going to take a short break here, partially so that I can attempt to fix that so all the pop-ups show. But we'll be right back. So until the next part, go ahead and wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.